Hey folks, welcome to the next episode of the Offside and
The Othros podcast. In this episode, we preview India versus England's fourth Test match happening at Manchester. Going along the sentiments around the team, playing 11s, probables, and hopefully luck favors us this time.
let's go. Go. Hey Arvind,
Hi, Shri. How's the 10-day gap
how,
for you?
sorry?
Zay, how was the 10-day gap for you?
Uh, long, very long, especially after a loss like the last one that we had.
Hmm.
Uh, when like being the cricket fan that I am, like I tried to stay away from all of the podcasts in the first few days, like 3 4 days. I was just
Did you?
disappointed,
Okay.
but then yeah, I mean as I think the last 5 days started rolling around us, the excitement kind of built up again that we could turn it around. We're gonna
Mhm.
turn it around. Now,
As more news and
now I'm at this point where I'm like India is gonna win. So
nice, good. I like that attitude. I like the spirit.
how's it for you?
Same pretty much. I mean, yeah, the loss did feel bad. I somehow felt that it was, again, as we had summarized in the last video, was pretty much game of margins. So if not for anything, it did give me hope and comfort that we are actually playing well. Uh, you know, we are probably applying ourselves better. We just need to, like Indian players just need to like battle out the mental game.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of hopeful that this 10-day break would have just done to them sort of, relax, unwind, and,
Well, the
get back on
applying
track.
ourselves better it does not really hold true for the last innings, but like we can brush that aside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
barring the last innings, I
yeah, yeah.
know.
But yeah, let's get into it then. Uh, the fourth test of the series at
Hmm.
Manchester. Uh man, I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure what to expect out of any pitch because traditionally every pitch is supposed to be a certain way, but ever since baseballs come in,
Hmm.
all the pitches in England seem to have gotten flat and slow, like nothing much for the pacers or the
Yep.
bowlers. And it is almost like, I mean, I expected so much out of Lords, especially after the way WTC final went and after the way kind of the wickets fell.
Hmm.
But like didn't seem like there was much. I would personally say in the second innings, maybe it was some inspired bowling, like by the bowlers, like their individual skill, which kind
So,
of got the wickets, rather than the wicket becoming something unbelievable. Fourth innings, maybe I'll say some of the balls actually kind of jagged around, which was, I
mhm.
believe, like a something that we expected out of Lords. But I mean, it's a fifth day wicket, so maybe that you expect that of any wicket. What do you think?
Mhm. In terms of pitch expectancy,
In
is
terms of
that your question?
generally,
I'm
like
sorry.
what do we expect, or are we
So
dare
I
to
had
expect
a
anything?
little different, yeah, a little different take on, take on the whole series compared to you. Agreed, pitches have been flat, and there is there's sort of less support or help for the bowlers, which is grueling in the sense that conventionally we used to always, think or see that test match used to progress in such a way that, over the course of 5 days, it slowly, you know, historically, if you would see, it would, favor the batter first, and slowly then it would deteriorate, and then the players and like seam bowlers and spinners would come into the play towards the day. But especially with baseball, things have been changing. I think it's a very sort of, difficult trade-off in the sense, hey, do you want to keep the game interesting for the all 5 days, which is what the first three test matches provided, or do you want to provide a pitch where, teams crumble in like this the 3 days and then, you know, it's a very like, short or low scoring game. I Those are interesting as well. But given how this series is spacing, and most likely I would expect England to, sort of give flattish wickets as they've been giving so far.
Yeah.
And thus probably having the game stretch over another 5 days. So it's going to be like a battle of
But
both,
apparently,
physical skill set and mental.
but apparently there's rain expected in the game. So
That could
that
definitely,
change
throw
happens. Yeah,
yeah, wrench in the works. It could be interesting.
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Like the thing that was funny for me was the average first inning score in Manchester is some 157. I'm
Oh my
like,
God. Is that
I'm like,
crazy?
that's. I don't think that's happening.
I think gone are those days, since global warming, things have changed.
Wow, nice
Like,
way to plug a environmental thought into
no,
into
I'm just
this
saying
podcast.
the way England have been curating their pitches has been a lot different from, what it used to
Yeah,
be back in the time. So,
I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a 150, 160 pitch.
not even back in the time, right? Like literally 5 years ago. Like the last time India toured England, we got
Yep,
such spicy tracks. And
I know.
compared to that, like just a span of 5 years, everything seems to have changed. But
So,
yeah, but now that we've gotten that out of the way, like coming back to Team India, like so many things, so much news. Like, could you please
yeah.
summarize them?
Oh my God. I don't know. Last 3, 4 days have been interesting. We thought 10 days would actually give all the players time to rest and
Recover.
get back, recharge their batteries, both like physical and mental
Mhm.
batteries on going into this game. And then turns out there's been a lot of freakish injuries, if I could put it that way. If we were to start with Nitish Kumar Reddy, he's been ruled out of the tournament
Yeah,
itself. Arshdev apparently has a crack or a cut that he's nursing, and that has
he's
likely,
out of the game.
ruled out of the fourth test match. So is Akashdeep. He has something going on with his groin, which was sort of called for or after the third test match itself. But I had hoped that he would recover, especially after his heroics from the second test. I thought, this 10 days would just be enough for him to sort of, nurse it out and, come back
Yeah.
stronger. But yeah, unfortunately, this is not to be the case. And, as they always say, one player's loss is sort of hopefully another player's gain, and someone is able to, like, step up and, you know, get us through.
Who is that player? I mean,
Do we want to do like playing 11 or
no, no,
expected
no.
playing
I
11?
want to do a. I want to make you call out the player who's been added to the team because you had called him out as somebody who should have been in the squad in the beginning of the series itself.
Oh, I know the preview of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
preview video of the first test match. Sure, yeah. Anshul Kamboj has been added as a replacement for Nitish Kumar Reddy,
Yeah.
which arguably is probably not a like to like replacement. Nitish Kumar Reddy is probably like a more of a batting all rounder.
But hey,
Anshul
isn't that
Kamboj,
exactly what you called out, saying Anshul Kamboj is a good all rounder? Like, aren't
he is. Yeah, I think we still sort of believe and hope that he goes on to do good stuff for India. But overall, uh, agree it or not. He's very raw or untested as compared to the rest of the players who have at least seen some actual game time. Let's definitely call it out the fact that Anshul Kamboj did play the first. There were two games. There were the two test or practice games before the series actually began, and I think he even scored a 50 with the bat, and
Yep,
he
yep.
was probably our most consistent,
Bowler.
no, sorry, not consistent, most economical bowler throughout the two games, averaging like sub three runs per over. And apparently he was also tested both with the new ball in the middle innings and towards the end. So, and as we've been calling out, he is probably, one of the better fit bowlers, and, arguably maybe a more like to like replacement for Akash Deep, in the sense that at least in the game sense, not in a overall player profile, player profile sense.
I'm getting very in Border Gavaskar Trophy vibes here. Like we're losing our
True, true, true.
bowlers. You're getting replacements, first time cricketers and all. You never know.
I know. It could. Hey, you know what it is? The entire series is sort of poised and going trending towards such a similar to BJT. Similar to BJT, we're expecting this to be get spicier from here on. We have two more tests. Let's see how this
It's
turns out.
it's gonna be super interesting how India approaches this test because if we have any hopes of winning the series, we have to win this test. Like there is no
Oh,
other
no
way
doubt
that
about it.
we
Yeah.
yeah we go on to win this series. So I mean, getting the elephant out of the room. I mean, in the room out of the way, Bumrah will play. Like that's almost like confirmed at this point because of the news and all of the press conferences that the support staff
Yeah.
everybody's giving. So that is good news, at least that we have our ace playing. Siraj seems to be confident. He seems to be a bowler who is kind of coming off a really good performance. He's
Yep.
be up for it, and so that is two bowlers like on track or in form. Now you
Yep.
have a third bowler with the two ruled out, Akashdeep and Arshdeep. Ideally, if Akashdeep was injured, I would have expected Arshdeep to be the replacement.
I would also wanted him to be,
Yeah,
playing as well. Agreed. Yeah, we sort of called it out as well.
yeah,
He's again, left arm seamer. He can swing the ball with,
yeah,
rainy conditions. Maybe, he could have come very effective, but
yeah.
unfortunate for
No,
him.
yeah, not to be. So he's not playing.
Yep.
Now your options are essentially Prasidh Krishna, back to Prasidh Krishna, or play the untested Anshul Kamboj, which is going to be super.
Hey, we are missing out Shardul Thakur. He's also part of the squad. Is
Uh,
somehow,
no, I would personally. I mean, no matter what you say, I would personally look at Shardul Thakur as a replacement for Nitish Kumar Reddy. So the
hmm
fact that Nitish is ruled out, it almost confirms Shardul's place in the team in my head, because
Okay.
the reason why I say that is in terms of the five bowlers that we used, right? Nitish
hmm
Kumar definitely had a good role to play in the in the third test. Maybe not in the
Sure.
second, but in the third, he definitely took 3 wickets and he made a difference with the ball. Now, agreed that given that we have five bowlers already and that Nitish was a sixth option, and the fact that our batting crumbled in the last game, India could
hmm
choose to go for an extra batsman. But given how they've kind of kept the team combination so far with the
Yep.
all rounders and all, but again, first test match they played two proper batsmen in Sai and Karun.
They did.
So
Yep.
it'll be interesting, but I personally feel it'll just be a straight swap with Shardul coming in for Nitish and Washington kind of getting a promotion in the batting order, where you sort of swap the places where Shardul plays that number 8, where Washington comes and plays the number 7.
Got it. So are you saying you're in for Anshul in the team 11 as well,
Ah,
swapping with
I
Akashdeep?
I don't know, man. I mean, in the sense that if you are wanting to go for experience, Prasid definitely has a few more tests, like a handful of tests more than
hmm
Anshul. And maybe he's played those 2 games already in the series. He's figured out that he needs to bowl fuller lengths. So you would maybe, depending on how he's doing in practice, of course, you would
Yeah.
expect him to kind of pick up what needs to be done in England better. But having
Sure.
said that, if Anshul's natural length is good length and that he has
hmm
already done well in those practice games, and
Yeah.
probably the team management thinks we've given Prasid 2 games, he just isn't suited for these conditions, we have to go
Right.
elsewhere, and they go for Anshul, I won't be disappointed. Like honestly, with
Sure.
Prasid at this point, I feel like there is more fear of him getting hit than of him
Sure.
running through the batting lineup. I would like to
Mhm.
have an Anshul be that bowler. I know he bowls long spells. Like we've
He
seen
does.
or we've read the stats, we've seen the stats. He's taken
hmm
10 in an innings.
I was about to
He's,
mention that.
he's
Yes.
definitely bowled like 20, 30 overs in an innings. He seems to be a super fit guy. So if he is somebody who can bowl those long spells, I mean, you never know, right? He might be that difference or somebody that we need. Somebody who can kind of bowl
hmm
consistently, choke up the runs. And honestly, against this English side, if you choke up the runs, you will produce wickets. That is what I believe. I thought Lords was an aberration in terms of how they chose to play. Uh, I
hmm
think they'll just come out all guns blazing in Manchester. But yeah, that's just my
Nice.
yeah,
Interesting. I have a slightly different take on,
yeah. I was waiting for
sort of replacement, which is, although, yeah, I agree. As much as, getting Shardul in makes sense, but I somehow feel it weakens our batting,
it does.
which sort of, I won't say sort of collapse. It did collapse in the fourth innings of the second innings, India's second innings in the third test match. Here is what I think they would do, and sort of on paper fits my logic as well, which is I think they're likely to get Sai back in and make him bat at where Nitish used to bat.
That
One,
low.
one. I mean, there is no other place, right? I don't think
Are,
by
are you
uh,
saying? Are you saying Karun is gonna play number three again?
yeah. I mean, we could argue over it. Am I comfortable him playing number three again? Maybe, maybe not. But because he's sort of the more, the full-fledged, more experienced batter in the set, he's likely to retain the number three position with injury to Nitish. You know, he might just retain the set. Or you actually bring up a good point. Initially, what I was about to say was Sai would probably come back and play at number six, which then made me realize we would have Pant, Sai, Jadeja, and Washi, all four left-handers, which could actually work well against Liam Dawson, the replacement for Bashir, who's got into the squad. But maybe what if they want to sort of mix it and mix it up a bit? Sai might just come as in, get the number three spot back. And then Karun might be pushed down, which could then, sort of balance out the left-right combination towards the middle order.
Or or
Mhm.
like a very out of the way thought with
Mhm.
Rishabh Pant having the keeping issues and India wanting to keep him little more safe with
Mhm.
terms of his fingers, could we play Dhruv Jurel instead?
I
He
don't know.
brings
We
a
could.
he brings a righty, he brings a keeping option, and
Yep.
he's actually a more suited middle order bat than I will say a Sai Sudarshan. Like in terms of
I
numbers,
agree.
Dhruv Jurel might be more naturally fit for that position than a Sai or a Karun for that matter.
You bring up a great point. Now that you mentioned that, I've been lost in that thought, and it very well could be true as well. That could just then mean that you would use Pant as a pure play batter. I don't know if he's fit enough to field, and I am honestly not comfortable with Pant the fielder. Jurel is a better fielder, but the fact that Pant has a whatever a niggle in his finger could just mean that if he doesn't want to keep, and if Jurel wants to keep, I don't know if that would mean we would sub Pant out, or
I
how would
don't
you
think
you know
you
pl-
can bring in a player, or I don't think it's fair to bring in a player like and just sub them out from minute one. It would probably mean
no.
Pant playing as a fielder and Jurel keeping. But I have
Mhm.
honestly never seen Pant field, so I have no clue what
Exactly.
fielder he will be.
And that on sheerly the fielding aspect of the dynamics of the game somehow makes it a bit uncomfortable. I mean that thought a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I mean, I am surprised that you. I thought the first opportunity you got, you'd pounce on Jurel playing, but I was surprised you didn't go for him. But
It's I mean I somehow honestly that thought didn't really come to get to my mind, so I'll be honest. But as I think more about it, it's likely the the fielding or the dynamics around fielding and who would field, who would keep probably is why Jarel would probably unfortunately lose out again. So
yeah,
we'll see.
so KL Yashasvi, you think Karun Nair at number three?
You know what? I'll be honest. I agree. We would want Jaiswal and Kale to open again. This thought did come to me. What if we drop Karun, bring Sai back, and what if Jaiswal and Sai open and KL comes down at number three? Well, hear me out, hear me out, hear
Sure.
me out. But then I realized KL is such a touch me not plant. The
Yeah,
moment you even propose this idea, it probably crumble even before he actually takes the field. So I scrap that thought right away and be like, no, no matter what. KL will keep or continue to open till the day he
yeah,
retires. If he is in the playing 11, he could bat nowhere else.
yeah,
He's already scored what, two centuries,
yeah.
couple of 50s. Uh, yeah, I would want to see more from him, but that said, he probably has more runs than just well as an opener. He is probably going to be the number one option choice as an opener for sure. So
I would
no two doubts
personally
about it.
think having KL and Yashasvi, other than maybe the last test match, even at least I will say the last innings, for the
Hmm.
most part, it seems to have worked as a combination because Yashasvi is a bit more aggressive. KL is a little more circumspect. Both of them have had their respective failures in this series, where KL got out to Vokes in the first innings of the last test. Yeah, I think in the second test, the first innings, KL got out to Vokes. In the last test match, both the innings, Yashasvi had a bad performance. Essentially,
Hmm.
you had failures from KL where I think at 40 odd in the first test, first innings, he kind of nicked one. So there have been like ups and downs, but I still feel that that is definitely a combination that we are backing and we should back.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, KL has too much.
No, no two doubts about it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's like, don't fix it if it's not broken.
yeah, yeah.
Don't, forcefully change something just to, create a,
Exactly,
imbalance
exactly.
elsewhere.
So I'll say the top two remains the same. Number four, number five remain the same. Gill and
Yep.
Pant. Number three, the unfortunate thing for Karun is the way maybe the way he played the first innings where he scored a 40 odd and then he kind of got out. Everybody like he looks good and then kind of gets out. Had he done something similar in the last innings, it would have still people would have been unhappy with him, but would have still been okay. The way
Yeah.
he got out and the fact that it triggered like a bad
A
collapse at the end
collapse. I
of
know.
day four, and the fact that in 6 innings he hasn't scored a single 50.
Yep.
Now is and on flat tracks, like on tracks where people have scored double hundreds and multiple hundreds and all of those, it begs me to question whether now the Indian team think tank might think about giving him a break. I don't know. I mean, is it the right thing to do at this? I don't think I've ever been so much on the fence because I don't like Sai or I don't prefer Sai at number three. I don't prefer
Hmm.
Karun at number three either, given the way he's playing and the way he's kind of getting out. So I'm not really sure. I mean, if they give him,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever
But the
been so
fact that,
confused.
no, I know, no. I think the fact that it would, on paper, definitely weaken our batting, sort of, I think, solidifies Karan's Karan's position in the team as well. So.
So maybe Karun plays at three, continues playing at three. Your 4-5 is fixed.
Hey,
Number six,
before
yeah.
we get carried out with the thought, because of how we missed Akashdeep's inclusion in the second test match, and we were like, damn, we didn't even speak about it. I'd like to just mention Abhimanyu Ishwar, and you
Oh
brought it up
wow,
in the last preview or review game as well. So just want to shout it out and be like, hey, we did at least take his name. So in case he plays tomorrow and as well.
Now that you bring up his name, that's actually, I mean, that you've actually put me into a situation where my doubts have all been clarified. Number three, Abhimanyu Easwaran. The reason why I say that is, uh, I personally, again, as I've mentioned earlier, Sai is not
Hmm.
uh, defensive enough, or he doesn't defend the ball as much or leave the ball as much to be a number three.
Sure.
Karun has had enough failures. I'll say one too many. Maybe he had 150 or a 170 or 180, like even a
Hmm.
single score of 80 or 70, I would have been like, okay, we've seen him come good. It's just a matter of time. The fact that he
Hmm.
hasn't scored a single 50 makes me think his place is under question. So
Okay.
if there is somebody who can maybe defend, has a solid technique, can play the swinging ball, Abhimanyu Easwaran isn't bad, man. He's been raking up so many runs. He scored 80
Exactly.
odd for India at number three in the practice games.
Hmm.
He did look solid. He has a good defensive game. So,
Yep.
I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, I know
Sure.
it's a radical thought almost because this will be the third number three you will be trying in this series itself.
Hmm.
I don't think Team India will do. it
It's yeah, we are definitely, given we are already 2-1 down in the series, it will be way too much of a change to, do make. So I agree.
I would want Abhimanyu Easwaran to be number three, but I think it will still be Karun Nair at number three, just because of how many things are changing from a bowling perspective and lower down the order
Right,
for the team. They might want some stability, so he might continue.
right.
So you have 4 and 5 fixed. Number six, Sai.
Sure.
Now, actually, at this point, I don't know whom are you backing. Are you backing Sai? Are you backing I don't know, like Dhruv Jurel? Whom are you backing?
No, I would go with Karun and Sai. I don't know where they would put likely fit. Likely Karun would get number three and Sai would come down the order. Uh, but that is how I would go. Yeah.
Yeah. So number six is Sai. Then number seven is
Mhm.
Jadeja. Number eight is Washington. And then you have your
Washi.
three pacers who are going to be
Yeah,
Kamboj
assuming
number six.
Kamboj gets in, he'd probably come in at number nine, which
Yeah.
somehow gives us a very long extended, batting
Tail. Yeah, yeah.
tail,
So you'll have
which
Anshul
is good.
Kamboj
And yeah,
and then Siraj and Bumrah. So
agree.
that's
That is what I had in my mind as well. Yep.
wow. That's honestly, I think in that team that you propose, there could potentially be one change where instead of Sai, a Shardul comes in, where I feel Jadeja played so well at number six. At this point, you could treat him as a proper bat, like a number six bat. So Jadeja
Hmm.
plays number six, Washington plays number seven, because he's shown good defensive technique, I'll say. And
Yeah.
Shardul is that number eight where he comes and tries to score quick runs, and then if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then you have your three pacers. I would back Anshul. I would back Anshul to play, but I don't know what the team management is thinking and how
Hmm.
what kind of mental space he's in. Um, there is one thing which is sort of how do I put this? Very niggling as a feeling for me is that
Hmm.
what version of Shubman Gill will we see in Test
Sure.
4? Because
Mhm.
I would want him to go back to the calm, composed self we saw in the first couple of tests, where we saw him have a plan, we saw him execute his plan. For whatever amount of time he was at the crease, he did not let his concentration drift, and he played a captain's knock. In the last test, both the innings, he felt very unsettled. Um,
I think
and
it's just the pressure got to him, honestly.
yeah,
Given how crafty he looked in the first two test matches,
yeah.
how solid his technique looked. It was sort of just lapse in that equilibrium or concentration. I really hope that this 10 days would have helped him sort of reinstate that, and he would come with his sort of improved technique and not go back to his uh, you know old technique.
It is going to be interesting how he plays the ploy that England came against him in the first innings of the third
Hmm.
test, where they brought the keeper up, they kept him in the crease,
Right.
and then the ball kind of moved away. Uh,
Yeah. I think it sort of works only once. Right now, it's out there in the sense he knows that England could do that now. And if he's, as good of as the batter as, the world allows him to be, then he should definitely come prepared and, be ready to counter that as well. If that means he has to, stand inside the crease and, keep his technique strong and tight, you got to do that. That is how, you actually get to be called as a great batter. So,
like this begs to brings a question in my head, like a couple of
hmm.
things, right? Uh, Gill's deficiency, which we saw in the second innings, was that when he puts his foot across and then he tries to
Hmm.
play across his front foot, is when he is susceptible to being trapped LBW, and he has that
Right.
weakness in his game. The
Hmm.
way he countered that was kind of staying ahead, like kind of how do I put this? Uh, Standing up and staying a
Yes.
little leg side-ish of the ball, where his feet weren't coming in the way of his bat and his bat could flow straight.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now,
Yep. Yep.
the worry is if, let's say, he has to stay in the crease and the ball definitely moves. Now, the difference between him standing outside versus him standing in the crease is that there is
Hmm.
definitely a bit more, like a foot more for the ball to move.
So,
So, the way
yes.
to negate that would be for him to come across and cover the swing. The worry
Yep.
for me is if he comes across, that exposes the second weakness of his, where his bat probably comes around his front pad. So,
Yes.
the fact that you said this only works once, I think you were saying from a perspective of the surprise element. Like, hey, I'm
Yep.
surprised. Okay, now I'm going to be prepared.
You can actually do that and catch
Yeah.
me off guard. Yes.
But the thing in my head is, if he changes his technique to kind of prepare for that, does that expose the original weakness he had? So it's going to be super interesting, like how
It is.
cat and mouse
Yes.
game. It's a cat and mouse game, and
Yep.
I think it is clear for us to say that if Gill performs, the Indian team looks much, much, much more solid as a batting unit
Hmm.
because he acts as that perfect pillar between an aggressive punt, an aggressive lower order potentially with
Yep.
maybe a Sai who's a stroke maker if he comes in, or you have a Shardul who's a stroke maker, and a top order which is good but could crumble. Like I wouldn't. There was one statistic which was brought to me by, I mean, one of the podcasts that I was hearing was that why was Pant effective pre his surgery when he played versus why did he not perform in the third test as well as the um, BGT, like the recently concluded BGT. The point
Okay.
was that was brought to me was the time Pant comes into bat after the new ball has stopped swinging, like let's say 30
Yes.
over mark or something, he tends to, like, his shots connect. There isn't
Be
much
very good with the old ball, a ball
yeah,
that
there
isn't doing
aren't
much.
demons
Yes.
for the wicket, and then he's able to play those aggressive shots and go for it. Versus if he is brought in earlier because of top order collapsing, he is more prone to play shots which he probably shouldn't be playing with the newer ball, and he gets out.
Hmm.
Like the
Correct.
in in Australia, your top order did not perform. You had Gill at number three who wasn't scoring. Your openers, one opener, Kale after the first test did not have a great series. Rohit
Yeah.
came in. Rohit did not have a good time. So he was almost getting exposed time, and Virat was getting out Virated by everybody, by the
Oh,
outside of trap.
yeah.
So Pant was coming in pretty early when the ball was still doing something,
Hmm.
and hence he really couldn't replicate his performance. Even in the last test match against Jofra Archer, he was in when the ball was moving, was doing something. So he got that ball which pitched slightly moved out, and then he was kind of defeated. So
Yep.
that is going to be a very interesting point, because of which I think Gill is even more important in that he arrests that fall. Hopefully, one of Yashasvi or KL plays that long innings. And with them, if somebody like a Gill can play that, definitely like a long innings, like 100, whatever.
Anchoring. Yep.
Yeah. And then Pant comes in when the bowlers are tired, when the ball isn't doing much. He gets that opportunity to get away. And then
True.
when the newer ball comes, he's still prepared, he's well set, and he can connect the shots. So,
Yep.
uh, everything rides on on Gill. I keep saying Pant. Everything rides on
Yep.
Gill.
Everything rides on our top four seeing through the first 20 overs so that Pant can come and score a century.
I mean, that kind of puts them in really bad light. They themselves have
Yes.
actually delivered really well, but
And,
yeah, it's going to be super interesting given that a batting lineup which looked so solid in the first two tests
mhm.
suddenly looks to have so many questions over
I
like
know. Yeah, agree.
yeah, positions. Like if you think about it, Yashasvi, Karun Nair, Shubman Gill to some extent, no Nitish Reddy, so you're number six. You have like literally five batsmen who are getting questioned, which is so
I
interesting.
know. I mean, one test match, one collapse is all you
Yeah,
could, all you need to like start questioning the very existence, of this place. But that's how, and that's unfortunate, but that's how the nature of the game is as well.
yeah,
So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting test match for sure.
yep. And just to touch upon England, they've pretty much gone unchanged with Liam Dawson coming in for his first test in what, 8 years? Uh,
This is what I read as well.
yeah,
He's like
yeah.
a slow left arm bowler who's again like at least a spin replacement for Bashir. So be interesting to see. And the fact that as I was mentioning, the one matchup that I'm very sort of looks spicy on paper and would be an eye watering whatever context mouth watering context would be to watch Rishabh Pant against Liam Dawson. It'd be interesting to see how Pant takes over. Takes on Liam Dawson.
It's gonna be interesting. Will it be mouth watering or will it be eye watering?
I watering, I know. I think I unintentionally said that, and it could well likely turn out to be who knows. We'll see.
But it's gonna be interesting again. The matchup of Jofra Archer and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Jofra got
Yep.
him out twice. Yashasvi almost seemed too eager to impose himself on Jofra.
Yes.
It's gonna be interesting how that battle works out because I feel India needs Yashasvi to fire again, top of the order.
Okay. He's yeah. He definitely get his chance. Might be a bit too harsh on him to critique him, but I agree he probably needs another big one to feel comfortable, feel confident. I think most of these young generation and young blood do well when they are confident, and only way that you could do that is actually doing well in the game and start building on that. So I
It's
really hope
the interesting part is um in this series, at least in the BGT that went by, it seemed like,
Mhm.
I mean, it didn't seem like it was true. Australia was this stable unit where India were trying to do different things to kind of get the matchups right or get things working. In this
Yes,
series, throughout the series, it seems like England have changed a bit, India have changed a bit. The matchups are continuously evolving every game, slightly but definitely. So that's going to
yep,
be super super interesting to see how this game pans out.
interesting
What
to
are your
watch.
predictions?
Yes. Predictions, man. It's going to be a close, dogfight or fight for the scraps kind of the game. I don't really expect it to be different from any of the first three test matches. It's going to be the game of margins, and India hopefully sort of do. We'll probably start by saying that India, for a change, hopefully gets to win a toss. We've not win the toss so far in the series, so that
Yeah,
would be a good start for Shubman. Let's start there. 1-2 is I would definitely want them to do some of the basics that we discussed in the last video, right? Which is hey, see out the last over before lunch, see out the last before, before the day. It's some of the basics of, old school test match cricket. And I think that is where the margin lies. The rest, I would say, again, as I mentioned, it's probably going to be a tough fight. We need to, really, sweat it out there. And, this game again is probably going to go all 4 days, 5 days. And hopefully the rain gods are, sort of
in our
favor
favor.
us and plays out well for us. Let's see.
Um, okay,
But yeah, prediction. I would want India to win, man. I mean, I could not see this go another way. The only reason probably Bumrah is playing as well is that there is no point in resting Bumrah if we lose this, and there's nothing much left in the
yeah.
series to play for. So I just hope for Bumrah's sake as well. And somehow it's been strange. We've lost like what 9 out of the last 10 games that Bumrah has played on. That's a very disheartening and shocking stat to be, uh, you know. So I would so hope and wish that India goes on and wins this test match. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I would want India to win just for the fact that there is something left to look forward to in the fifth test. If we
Yep.
end up losing, the series is done, and there is nothing really. I mean, from a records perspective, sure, from a pride perspective, sure, but there won't be much. How do I put this? Riding on the last test match, which I
Agreed.
really don't want because this was a really highly anticipated series. We've actually fought really well. We've given a great account of ourselves throughout the
Yep.
series. So I would want this to go into the fifth test, and then it's almost like a one test shoot off, right? Like whoever performs on the in that
Decide.
day.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I would really want us to get there to show how equal both teams have been, being true to the scoreline, reflecting actually how the series is.
Yep.
So yeah,
Agree.
I'm hoping for an India win, and we'll see you when the first test. I mean the fourth test ends. Hopefully,
Sure. Yeah.
smiling and
We'll
talking about how India have done well. Yeah.
hopefully. Hopefully. Likewise.
Okay. So it's really nice meeting you guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you after the test match.
Thank you.
Sure.
Until the next time. Peace.
Peace.